To see you again. You're looking especially fit for this time of year. I just want you to know. But I want to talk to you about two things. First of all, this Sunday, I want to invite you as a group participant or a group leader to join us for our discipleship group gathering. We're going to gather at 5 p.m. in the high school room in the basement. Afterward, we're going to hang out with some snacks in the cafe. But we want to gather together with all of our groups, whether you meet on Sunday morning or throughout the week. We want to gather together. We want to celebrate all that God has been doing in your group. Pray for where God is leading us next, and worship together as a family. It's going to be a great time. I want to encourage you. I want to challenge you to mark off that time, that hour this Sunday, to join us. If it was a total waste of time, you never have to come back to another one. But I think you're going to be glad that you did. And we will be glad to see you there. Also, the second thing, you may have noticed in some information that we're making available and the way that we're talking, that we're referring to life groups, whether it's Sunday morning or throughout the week. And so you may be thinking, well, our group has a name, or we're a Bible study, and so isn't that different from a life group? And what we really want to get to is a couple of things. First, we want to get to this idea that any discipleship group that we have practices three things: linking together as a family, connecting with each other, sharing in each other's lives, not only the gospel, but our very lives, as Paul says. And so we want every group practicing that, linking together as a family, caring for one another. We also want every group committed to sharing the scripture together, to learning the way of Jesus and applying that in our lives. And so every group, we want that to have as a central part of their practice. And then we want these groups to live this out on mission, whether that's individually in all the places that you go, or collectively as a group. You're finding a way to show and tell the good news of Jesus in our community so that others can be invited into what God is doing. And so any group is a life group if they're practicing those three things. Just a very large umbrella that allows us to clearly communicate to others what we're about. And so we are reaching out to people, and they may have previous church experience, or they may have no church experience. We want them to know that we have life groups. We have gatherings of people. It happens at 8:30 and 10 o'clock on Sunday morning. It happens throughout the week in homes. But these groups are committed to these three things: linking as a family, learning as disciples, and living on mission. Now, they look slightly different, and it's going to have a slightly different feel. But we have groups all throughout the week committed to those three practices. And so for clarity of message and unity that comes from recognizing those three things, linking, learning, and living, we are starting to refer to all of our discipleship groups as life groups with those core commitments. And this will allow us to just clearly communicate. Anybody who comes to us and says, I want to be in a life group, we want to be able to offer them, well, we have groups. They meet on Sunday morning here at the church, but they also meet throughout the week in the home. We want to connect you to the one that's a best fit for you so that you too can live out, link, learn, and live with a group of people. And so it just gives us a way to powerfully, simply communicate this message as well as our core commitment. And so I would invite you to continue to use your class name, to continue to refer to your class or your group on Sunday morning or throughout the week. But for the overall purposes of being able to clearly communicate the message and invite people into that, we're calling them life groups. We're using that title, and so I just would invite you, if you want to start referring to it, because if you're linking, learning, and living, that's what a life group is committed to. That's what all our groups are committed to, and so we would just want to be able to communicate that clearly. So I thank you for the work that you're doing, for your commitment to living out the good news of Jesus with a group of people for the good of our community. And we're excited about what God is doing in any of our groups all throughout the week. We just thank God for that work. We thank God for you and for your community of people that you're gathering with, praying that God would lead you and in powerful ways to reach people in this next year. So we look forward to seeing you on Sunday afternoon at 5 p.m. for our life group gathering and celebration. Thank you all so much. Have a great week.